Good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening to us from. Welcome back to the More Sibyl podcast. This is Mo, and today I have a story that I think it's something very worthwhile to share. And I don't even know how to begin the introduction, but let me just say that by the end of this conversation, I think it's going to establish just a lot, especially from a father's legacy and talking a lot about drug development and some political landscape of Nigeria, and also the importance of pursuit of intellectualism as it were. So today on the podcast, I have a young man whose father might be well known to some people or might not be well known to other people. His name is Niyi Ogunyale, and he describes himself as someone who's an entrepreneur and someone who's very much interested in natural products. And we'll also explore just that aspect of his life and, growing up and just some of the lessons learned along the way. He's currently based in Oyo and is also a new generation herbal medicine manufacturer. And finally, he describes himself as an economist. Everyone, please join me in welcoming Mr. Niyi Ogunyale to the podcast.
Hi.
Hello, Niyi.
Good evening from here. Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the honors of sharing your story. And shout out to my sister-in-law, Omotola Ogunsoya, for just making this happen. Because I met you earlier this month in Nigeria, actually, when I came visiting. And we struck up a conversation. And I realized that, I know about your family, at least to a little bit of an extent. Maybe just let's get started by talking about, your family, how you grew up and how many siblings you have and all that kind of fancy stuff.
All right. Thank you, Mo. First and foremost, my name is Niyi, as you've mentioned, Oluniyi Ogunyale. My father's name is Reverend Paul Ogunniyi Ogunyale. He's late now, and I have 5 siblings. Altogether, we're 6. So my father was a clergy in Baptist church. I grew up in Oyo town, Emmanuel Baptist Church. So it was fun and cool. I would say cool. So I grew up making herbs with my dad, and at first I wasn't that interested, being the last born of the family, the last of the 6. So but as time went by, I discovered that I have passion for manufacturing, and I have passion for herbs, and seeing people using the herbs and it works, giving testimony, like I tell my clients now, as in every testimony they give, it's an encouragement for us to push the boundary of herbal medicine and see how we can go and what to add. And seeing people get healed is just, it's, how would I describe it? More like divine. Like if I'm not a clergy, at least I'm doing God's work by providing herbs for people to take, and it's healing them. So I grew up in that line. So most of the symptoms, ailments, I grew up knowing the symptoms and all, and I went to university to study economics in Ajayi University. So but I haven't practiced that in over 10 years now. But bringing that knowledge of economics into marketing of herbs, and also my passion for creativity, which is manufacturing, we've been able to develop herbs into something unique for our generation, because we realize that our generations, they are not that inclined in taking bitter substance, and most of the herbs, they are bitter. So we we've tried as much as possible to calculate some, as in some are still in powder form, but we've made sure that those ones are not quite bitter, and we've tried to push the boundary of herbal medicine and pharmacy. We've brought it together to make sure that we've created something beautiful. For instance, calculating now, it takes a lot of efforts that goes into calculating and some chemicals to use, but we've made sure that the chemicals we are using, they don't have adverse effects, and we've tried to limit the number we use so that we don't compromise our herbs integrity. So basically that's what we do in our company, which is Paumascel International Limited, which is situated in Oyo town. And distribution wise, we all know how Nigeria is, but we've been coping. We've been around for more than, the company has been around for like 10 years now, 9 years. And the products as a whole has been in existence since over 30, 40 years. As in, before I was born, my father has been practicing this. He has been giving herbs to people, and people have been using it. In fact, I get referrals now from way back 30 years. Some people will call me up. They'll say, "Oh, we've used your herbs 30 years ago, and we even thought you stopped doing it because Baba has passed away." But yeah. So it's been fun. It's been pushing the boundaries that nobody thought was possible. In Nigeria, when you talked about herbs like 15 years ago, people thought it's all about black magic, like you do incantation, you do all sort of black magic. But now people are now starting to embrace herbal medicine because of the side effect of the orthodox medicine and all, which herbs too they do have, but it's limited compared to orthodox medicine. So that's just the summary of everything as a whole.
Thank you for sharing that. There's so much to even unpack from that conversation. So you're the last of 6 kids. Wow. And growing up, you didn't have any interest in what your father was doing. But as you grew older, you realized that you had a passion for it. Now, can you let us know when Baba passed away? And just let's start with that. And I had a follow-up question on that.
All right. My father passed away to 2013. So we would do his 28th anniversary this year, June 6th to be precise. So he passed away almost, let me say,
almost here, around the corner.
Almost 20 years ago. Growing up with my father, it's fun, challenging, and blessing altogether, everything in one, because my father was a father to a whole lot of people, and he was a role model to a whole lot of people. So I grew up looking up to him because I was the sport one, as in the last born of the family. So I wanted to be like him. So hence what pushed me further into herbal medicine. So he's a sweet guy, as in he's a man guy. Yeah, that's how I'll put him, because he can relate to all demography, as youth, as elderly people. Everybody just wants to sit around him to share from his wealth of experience, from his wealth of wisdom. So it's fun, and it wasn't easy being a son to a clergy. You know, he has to attend to a whole lot of people, the congregation, the town people, being that he was a respected person in his hometown too. So a lot of people just want his attention. So as his children, we had to like every little opportunity that we have, we just want to make it count. So it was a blessing, as in till date, people still talk to me about my father, about stories that I didn't even know. That's how great of a person he is.
Okay. I mean, being a clergy and then someone knew about herbs. And you talked about learning from your dad. Who did your dad learn from? Was it from his dad as well? And your connection with just, naturopathy and, herbal medicine, was that a long line? Do you come from a long line of practitioners in your family? I'm just curious to know.
Yes, from the stories I've heard, because like I said, my father was often a busy person, attending to people's needs, and also so I didn't get to hear that story from him, but from my mom, yes. My family background, we've always been into herbs, and the fact that my early stage of my father, he traveled from towns to town, doing trades, doing a whole lot of things. So along the line, with the knowledge he had, he picked up some knowledge about herbs and life in general. And I forgot to mention, he studied in United States of America. He had bachelor degree in psychology and masters in clinical psychology as well. So being there, doing clinical psychology, and he saw how orthodox medicine were just managing and all. So in fact, that's even the value. His principles is engraved in the value of our company, which is making the products available to the least of the people at the cheapest price, which we've been trying to do, but Nigeria as a whole is just the market is dynamic. Even the local markets now, everything is 200% increased, and
inflation,
we source from these local people. So it's so he was the brain behind all these things, and he wanted people to have this medicine, because 70 to 80% of people in Nigeria, they live below $1 per day. So we had to find a way to meet up with their needs. So he brought up that, and like I said earlier, it's his family line, and a couple of things he picked here and there. So that's how we became family of herbal medicine practitioner.
What a legacy! And you could even tell in just your story, the hard Baba had to make sure that these things were equitable. They were also accessible to everybody. So I'm a pharmacist, as you know, and I recall one of the products that brought your father to limelight was Nicosan, which works as a way it helps. The mechanism of action is not quite understood, but it helps in crises like sickle cell crisis, and it was very affordable to patients. We'll talk about just in a bit. We'll talk about how that changed over time due to new acquisitions and all that. But I remember when I used to practice then, it was something a lot of sickle cell patients, swore by as far as it helping them. And even though the mechanism of action wasn't known, but there was, in some studies, they've seen that it actually decreases frequency of severe pain in patients who took it versus those that were on placebo. So it definitely had a lot of utility to them. But let's just start with the history of Nicosan, right? From my understanding of it, it's gone through a lot of. I think it was. I don't even know. And if you even clarify, is it Nicosan or Niprosan? I knew it as Nicosan, but I think it was exclusively marketed under another name. but it's a herbal mixture extract that is formulated from parts of 4 different indigenous plants. It also has some inorganic materials in it. You growing up, you probably saw that a lot. So let's just start about the history of it. Was there any personal pain point for Baba in your family when it comes to sickle cell that he set out on his way to find something that was going to be helpful? Or what was the story, if you are at liberty to share it with us, behind the discovery of Nicosan?
I wouldn't refer to it as Nicosan because me saying Nicosan, it's something that was taken from us, and till date, it's still something of pain in my family because my family don't even want to hear NIPRD. When you say NIPRD, everybody just gets agitated and also. So we started it as tonic, normal tonic. No one in my family, as I can recall, had sickle cell, but my father had been practicing it, like I said, far back more than 40 years, more than 40 years now. So we started with just the powder and whiskey. So it's a funny story though. I could remember then when I was younger, like 4 or 5 years old. Whenever we had a patient like that, it's we took it as an opportunity to sip whiskey. It's funny remembering it now because what we do is we take some quantity of the powder, we pour it in a whiskey, and we shake it. We tell the user to wait for 2 days so that it will enhance the nutrients before they start to use it. So along the line, we discovered that it's a risky thing to do because it can get children addicted to alcohol, and alcohol is not that good for children.
The carrier, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we started using it with mixing it with water. We just sell the powder. We tell our patients to use water. But okay, in between that was when Professor One Baby, the first, then he was Dr. One Baby, the first Director General of NIPRD. So yes, he was a deacon in a Baptist congregation as well. So my father, being a reverend in Baptist, got obsessed with him, and he introduced himself, his department and all. So they started talking, and my father liked him, and there was back and forth exchange of ideas and everything with how to improve it. So that was when we now started using water, that we stopped using alcohol. So Daddy was so interested in making the herbs available for everybody, and the only way we could do that was to use government agency because they had the network. They had the network and they had the expertise to do to do the further research on it. So it was a win-win situation actually. But my father didn't use the business sense. He trusted the man, and the man didn't. I don't want to use backstab, but the man failed him. As in, that's why what's supposed to be a mutual business or mutual agreement now turned to conflict between the family and NIPRD. So it's that was the beginning of the story. when I read some articles that they refer to my father as part of the researchers, it saddens me because NIPRD had no idea about this thing. As in, the guy even had 1+1 together. Now somebody that genuinely had the drug that has been using it for more than 40 years, all of a sudden you turn him to part of the researcher that developed Nicosan. Well, behind the doors, they acknowledge him as the owner, as the founder, but in papers, it's just, it saddens me that they refer to him as part of researchers that discovered Nicosan. That there are some professors, there are some. It's not done. It's not done. So that was the beginning of the Ogunyale and Reverend Ogunyale episode with NIPRD that now turned to what they called Nicosan. Before it was NIPRD before they changed it to Nicosan.
Yeah. Oh wow. I mean, so there was this article that I sent to you, and you're right. They did say he was involved in the development work of Nicosan through a staff position at NIPRD. And there was also a publication that was published in 2001 that looked at the efficacy of Nicosan in the prophylactic management of patients with sickle cell disease. And your father was listed as one of the authors. Now, even in going back to whenever this MOU was signed, if I recall from this article, which entails a lot, they talked about how your father reached an agreement with Dr. Charles Nwambebe, like you said, the first director of NIPRD. And this was necessary to broker trust and also gain some form of access to this vast pool of traditional medical knowledge. And the agreement, was supposed to help with, setting up a template for commercialization of the product. And in exchange, also, like you alluded to earlier on, NIPRD was to receive, the information and provide just the network to standardize the product as well and make it even more accessible to people. But the how it ended really was that they took the royalties, 100% of the royalty goes to NIPRD officials, right? And they also collected the patent rights, named the product after themselves. So in going back now, maybe you've probably even answered this question. The MOU that was signed was actually, from what I recall, was probably one of the first of its kind in that we can go back to and refer to. And I guess the lesson learned here is that maybe if we could go back in time, is engaging with lawyers and making sure everything is clear, because from there it was just downhill. And I imagine, in addition to leaving a very painful point for your family, this also has a lot of implications for those that might even be sitting on a wealth of knowledge and not being able to trust those in power, because this story is one that hasn't even been told extensively. And the people that have been given the platform to talk about it are the people who shouldn't be talking about it, because they've co-opted the story and, sold a single story, which is why I think it's very important to hear from your own side of the story. And I know there'll be your truth, there'll be their truth, but somewhere in between, and it's been presented with all versions of the truth, we can decide, okay, where did the fault lie and what can we learn from this lesson? So I just want to say I'm really sorry to hear, because it seems like even up until the point where your dad passed away, he didn't get all of the credit that he needed when it comes to this. But from your own perspective, what do you think could have... go back,
let me come in.
Sorry, go ahead. Sure.
All right. Let me come. All those stories that has been told, they are false. Reverend Ogunyale never signed any MOU with NIPRD. As in,
he never did.
Growing up now,
Wow.
He never did.
Wow.
Growing up now, I got interested in the case because I wanted to continue with the legal legal action,
Like
but
part of it, yeah.
it's already too late. We took them to court. And we lost. As in, that one too has its own another side. But Reverend Ogunyale never signed any MOU with NIPRD till daddy's dying days. They still brought the MOU for him to sign, which Reverend Ogunyale never agreed because it was a slap to his face. Somebody that invented something, you want to give him peanuts. You want to give him peanuts. So anybody that says there was MOU and Reverend Ogunyale signed, I would actually like to say it because I've searched through the files, everything I know, my dad's documents. I've asked my brother that went with him to Abuja, and my sister and my mom. I've asked everybody, and there was no MOU signed. That's the truth.
This is, because that article I sent to you, it clearly states here that in 1992, NIPRD was brought to the attention of NIPRD, right, by your father, Reverend Paul Ogunyale, and then that he signed a formal benefit sharing agreement with NIPRD, which entitled him and his family to pursue royalties on NIPRD in exchange for the recipe of NIPRD and disclosure of all trade secrets. But here you are, his son, saying none of that existed, that there was no agreement, there was no benefit sharing agreement signed.
No,
wow.
There was no memorandum of understanding. And NIPRD got grants, a lot of it.
Yes, a lot of grants, yeah.
A lot of grants. They never shared anything with Reverend Ogunyale. If NIPRD has any documents as to this effect, I would actually like to see it, but there is none. There is none. A lot of things happened, as in the story became so sadful to my dad because somebody you trusted, it was like a friend member, betraying you, somebody you've taken as a friend. Not a church member, but a member of the Baptist communion, as in Baptist church. A member of Baptist church, not in our town, but he introduced himself as a deacon. So my father trusted him and gave him. In fact, they even gave them more than the. I'm not supposed to say this, but because I'm very sure somebody can know somebody that'll go to NIPRD again to be digging everything out. My father gave them more than sickle cell remedy drugs. He gave them like 3 or 4 medicines like that. So there was no. He gave them out of trust, but they broke the trust. And our lawyer, there was a lawyer that was brokering the whole thing. At some point, he had to back out to. I think he got an appointment. Barrister Yakubu. He dropped the file. Then the son that we paid to pursue the case, as in that one went out because reading through the court hearing and the court judgment, it was sad, as in how can a son make a mistake, as you are suing NIPRD for something family gave to them. You're suing them with Daddy's Foundation. So they just threw the case out of the court like that. So we lost interest in any further legal action and everything. So till, let me see. Lately we met the chairman of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Mr. Wale Ladibolu, which we got interested in this case too, and he went to NIPRD himself to inquire what really happened. Nobody in NIPRD will say Reverend Ogunyale signed MOU. Reverend Ogunyale didn't sign MOU, which they confirmed to him too. They even said the sharing formula that was given to us, they even reviewed it, which we have not still signed it. So I think the problem now is they are so ashamed to come to the Ogunyale family after the whole court drama, because it's like Yoruba hadith that says two friends cannot go to court and still remain friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they can't come to us, and definitely we too were too proud to go to them. But according to pharmacist Sibyl, he said there was a review on the benefit sharing, and nobody assigned it. None of Ogunyale representative has signed it, and they even said Reverend Ogunyale was supposed to be given an award, probably CFR or something, which NIPRD didn't, because for somebody to have discovered something that you are boasting about, that person deserves highest award, which till date they haven't still even recognized them. So definitely no anybody that has any MOU signed by Reverend Ogunyale with concern to Nicosan, I would love to say it, but you know how Nigeria is. A lot of lies fly there, here and there, and in order to save their own face and to have another product, which even people are dying with the knowledge of herbs, as a lot of discoveries that could have they could have made a lot of things. But even with this, nobody trusts NIPRD anymore, and then Nicosan is their how would I put it, is at the top of their achievements. What again can they can't boast of any other product apart from Nicosan, which even Zekem the licensed, as in even duped them off it, because it wasn't transparent, it wasn't even genuine. So that's the whole story about the MOU.
Oh wow, this is actually quite sad though. Even in hearing your story, that so it was just him sharing all of what he knew about his herbs to his friend, and that in turn just turned around. I mean, I know Professor Nwambebe, he passed away last year, and I mean, even reading his eulogy by the Guardian newspaper, they credited him for his role in the development of the first world accepted herbal cure for sickle cell anemia, Nicosan, and they said it was a groundbreaking research that earned him a lot of accolades. And he also held 5 US patents, and I know one of them was from Nicosan. It was filed in 1997. 20 years later, in 2007, that patent expired. Now, let's just talk about the implication of just what this means. Whenever you guys were marketing the tonic, it was by about $4, per month, roughly per month, for people to have access to it, which was quite affordable. But once the Zekem company took over, they increased that markup to about 520%. So it went from $4 per month to about $20 to $25 per month, rendering that tonic unaffordable to people that would need it. And there were also some issues with not being able to scale up to marketing, to be able to meet the needs of the masses. So as you can imagine, those that had access to it before that could help in crisis and management of sickle cell crisis, it's no longer. So from your side of the family, do you guys still manufacture a part of, like a version of it? And I'm really focused on the patients right now, because your drug did something for them. And I know that firsthand, because I know people who used it, and I used to sell it as a pharmacist. What's the implication for access for those who will need it the most?
Okay, thank you. with regards to Nicosan, I didn't know the price until now that you are mentioning it. Like I said, that is morals or value was to make it available for everybody at a cheaper price, which we are still doing till then. We're still producing it. We've never stopped producing it, and we are still trying to improve on it. Like I said, we now make it in sachets, which is still even affordable to everyone. A pack goes for 6,000 naira now. 6,000 naira. We call it Paumascel. You can check it on our website, www.paumascel.com. So it's we still try to make it affordable. Even people that can't afford the 600 naira one, we still make it in nylon sachet for lesser people to still come and buy it. So which is still let me see, 6,000 naira in black market dollar. That's not even up to $10.
Around that. It's not $10. Yeah. So it's still affordable for you guys.
It's still very, 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 very affordable. We still have patients from US, from UK, from northern Nigeria, eastern Nigeria. We still ship to them. We sell to them. And the interesting thing about our products is not just the tonic that we sell to sickle cell patients. We also have some other herbal remedies. For instance, sickle cell patients, they go through jaundice. They have jaundice. Some of them are jaundice. Some of them has how would I put it, spleen in their tummy.
Yeah.
So so we still have herbal remedies for all those ones, and we have our own painkiller too, because we've realized that our patients now, they come as in some that cannot take our stop pain, our painkiller. We call it stop pain because it is alcohol based, so some cannot take it. So they resort to taking diclofenac. Diclofenac has caused more harm than good
on the
because
kidneys.
of the side effects.
Yeah.
Stomach ulcer.
Yeah.
So and a patient of ours passed away lately. That it was I was sad the day I go to her office. She works in the same office with her mom. I never knew she was even our patient because I just give her the drugs and I walk back. So I didn't even know she was the one taking it until she passed away. Our mom just posted a picture on her status that she had passed away. Thank you. It was so sad, and what caused it was that multiple organ collapse. That was what caused her death. From apparently she has been using was it diazepam or pentazocine as in so
for pain.
So they had to put her on withdrawal syndrome therapy, which wasn't going well with her. So apparently there was a day she was at home alone and she started having crises, and they thought it was a mild thing, and getting home they discovered that she couldn't walk again and everything. They took her to the hospital. She was getting better. Something just went wrong again, and she didn't make it. So hence why we really. I had a patient too. The mother called me at the middle of the night that she was convulsing. She was this, as in the pain was too much, and she's this. Spirituality too has a negative effect on treating some patients. They say they are called Christians, they can't take alcohol. It's funny. And so there was this patient, like I was saying, our mom called me at the middle of the night that she was having a crucial pain, and they took her to the hospital. They gave her pentazocine, and she still feeling the pain, and they told her to use our painkiller. She said it's alcohol-based. She can't take it. So our mother got fed up, and she was like, "See, if you want to die, die. I'm tired of all this. We are telling you to take something. You're telling us you can't take it because your faith doesn't believe in it or anything." And she just walked away with that pain. That patient walked back to our mom, and she was like, "Mom, I'm sorry. Bring it. Let me take it to satisfy you." She took that stop pain. Within 5 minutes, somebody that has been in pain for 5 days, a whole week, she just fell asleep.
Mm.
Oh wow! She went to sleep. Yeah. So the thing is, these things, people know it, but it's just sad. When we were doing some survey too, we called an old patient of ours. She said the kid was responding to the tonic, as in he was fine, and all of a sudden, due to the fact that they are not using her own painkiller, they are not using her own antibiotics, they were using orthodox antibiotics, that the patient eventually died of liver failure or something. So orthodox medicine is just, I'm not saying they are not good, not all of them, as in, I can't generalize them, but most of them, they cause more harm than good.
Than good. Yeah. So no, so go ahead.
So the thing is, we still sell the tonic, and it's still less than $10, and we still ship abroad. Even I don't know if you've heard, but I think NIPRD has commissioned probably May and Baker to start producing again, which even what they are producing is way expensive, and the quantity is low. So
quality is low.
The quality is low, the quantity is low, because all these people, they are bent on making profits.
Profit out of it, yeah.
Yeah. We've stayed long in this business because we are not bent on profits. Because let's face it, I'm not using G-Wagon, nor do I even have a house in Lekki or anything. If we were to go by profits, as in I should be driving like G-Wagon by now, traveling around the world and all. So the thing is, I think the problem with Zekem and NIPRD was that they wanted to make money off it, and it's not always about money. So that's why the prices are like that.
I mean, from even my conversation with you before this episode, so from what I know about, and even from my conversation, what I know about the tonic for sickle cell was the 4 ingredients that you had, but it was in such a way that you needed to combine it in a specific manner. There were the raw materials, but there were some other things as well. So from my conversation, it seems like the formula that actually even have that NIPRD has is not like the full thing. Like, you guys still have the genuine combination of it. Of course, you also want to be very careful, so that way the trade secret is not given away. But if you're doing it by yourself now, I imagine that since the goal of your family is to make sure that the right people have access to it and to make it very affordable, are there plans for you to expand? I see you have it on your website, but my question, I guess, is what are your marketing plans to make sure that people are getting it? Because people might still know about your family, but I imagine somebody in the north or somebody in the southeast of Nigeria might not know that you guys are still, selling this. Do you have any plans for expanding this? Are you planning to work with a trusted member of the community, or maybe on a wider scale, to make sure that access is given to those that might need it, while trying to avoid the mistakes of the past? Yeah.
All right. Thank you. And there are 2 questions I believe there. As in, the first one The first one is that the formula, however you put the formula, the drugs, the outcome, it will still work, but you have to be careful, because too much of one ingredient or two, when you don't mix it in the right proportion, it might be harmful to the body. That should be harder. That's why, like I told you the first time we met, there are lots of herbs or lots of tonic out there that are replicas of this particular herb, and so far people testify to it that they also work. So it's the way it is. Okay, let me put it like this: herbs has different properties, as in however you put it. Even if you had another herb to it, it might go a long way. So basically, this one now, if you remove a particular component of it, it might still work, but it might give you another thing, but it will still work for blood. For instance, okay, let me just put it out there. Sorghum bicolor, since in the olden days, was used as blood tonic. Sorghum bicolor. So that's the major ingredient. But the thing is, we still needed to put other things in it to amplify the effects of the tonic in the blood. So basically, whatever you put, I have patients too that are like, oh, I don't have money to buy today. In fact, okay, let me tell you a funny story. A patient of mine came, I started seeing her patient, and she said, whenever her granddaughter has crisis, she would put tin tomatoes milk and Maltina. That's their blood tonic.
What? Tin tomato and Maltina, please. Wow. Yeah.
To her, it works. So
it works?
It works to her. But the thing is,
to her placebo effects, maybe. Yeah.
You and I knows that it's iron overload for a sickle cell patient.
Yeah, with the milk and then lycopene and the tomatoes.
Exactly. So the thing is, a whole lot of people has there's this leaf, we call it Ewe. I only know the Yoruba name because we deal with Yoruba people here. So Ewe, yeah, people squeeze it to make their tonic, and he said it works. So
like ugu and malt, for
ugu. I've also heard about that one. So the thing is, imagine if you now remove a component of these. I see. Let's use Nicosan. Then you put that ugu there. It will still work. In fact, it might give you another how would I put it? Another thing.
Indication, yeah. It might be
beautiful thing.
Something else, yeah.
Yeah. So that's one, but we need to be careful, because whatever we put might be harmful to the body, because we don't know of the implication. This is where trials comes in. Sometimes I go as far as trying new herbs on myself. In fact, that's even what we do now. After every production, I have to authenticate the taste and the harshness to know whether it is what I want
or not.
Yes, because that's the only way I can do it right now. I can't afford to hire scientists that'll be doing all the chemical compositions for me. So that one for the first question. Now, what we are doing to make sure that it is readily available for everyone and for people to know about it. Lately, I've been I've been getting a lot of referrals. As in, that's basically what we are enjoying right now. It's just referral. They see one of our clients using it. The clients give them like one of 5 sachets, and they use it as well. They're like, oh, this thing works. So basically, it's referrals that I've been getting now. But our with the level of technology, data marketing, and everything, I'm looking into data marketing to target our as in the youth, because you need to target your client base. So data marketing, I want to do that. Then also, I'm trying to partner with people with genuine intentions. We need to underline that genuine intention.
Genuine
A
intentions,
lot of
yeah.
people, a lot of people wants to make money, but it's not always about money. As what I do now is I hold patients that brings new people. I ask them, do you want to be part of our marketing chain and whether to be selling for us, so that it's like our giving back to them, because they've used this. They know how it works. It has worked for them. So it is only how would I put it? It is only encouraging for us to use them as our agent as well. So we're trying to partner with people, partner with organizations, and right now we're taking baby steps, because we can't. If we try to jump ahead of ourselves, we're going to lose a whole lot of things. We're going to miss a whole lot of things. So first of all, product standardization, we have to get that right, because even herbs, when I started this manufacturing these herbs, that I realized that herbs from north, they are different from herbs from the south. They will possess
wow.
different nutrients. For instance, like we use let me see, Guinea pepperensis.
Yeah, pepperensis, Guinea, yeah.
So the one we harvest here is different from the one they harvest in the north.
That's interesting.
The one in the south is rich, so it's peppery.
The smell,
and the one
maybe
in the south,
maybe the nutrients in the soil.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. The soil component also dictates the nutrients of the fruit, so which we have to balance. Now imagine now we now have we don't know where to get them and everything like that. So the thing is, and there's backlog of orders, which means we have to get the ones that we see. So we need to first standardize our product, which is telling our suppliers which species we want to produce. So all those things, they are also part of the marketing, because we can't afford to get it wrong. Any bad publicity is going to ruin the company. As in, we have goodwill to protect, and we have how would I put it, the legacy. We are the one with the legacy, so we have everything to lose. Although there are some patients that says our product doesn't work for them, which is like 1% out of the. So what I tell them is, probably you should try. It's not that we're bragging or anything, but if our product doesn't work for you, then probably you should try something else.
I see.
So with marketing, we're trying to work with people, as in trying to get places, as in, so that it will be. In fact, that will even make it affordable for people, because once it's closer to your reach, you don't have to pay for logistics again. You don't have to You don't have to, how would I put it? You can just go to any store and just pick it up,
I
which,
just
which
get it done.
we're actually working up on.
Okay. Thanks for that robust response, especially with your plan. And I do appreciate that despite what you've gone through, you still acknowledge the importance of working with people who have, your best interests at heart. Because what you have is a great product. It has stood the test of time. And the ability to be able to make sure it's accessible to those who need it. And you even walking us through that journey. I'm very, very thankful. Now, finally, before we go, one of the biggest things we hear about, like you also give a balanced conversation around conventional medicine and, traditional medicine, and not that one is better than the others, but they can both have their good side and their bad sides. I know in the when it comes to talking about your tonic, one of the things that was talked about was even not just a tonic, it's the lack of standardization when it comes to a lot of herbal preparations. We don't know what's inside. We don't even know what if, is supposed to be used for this, but then one of the carriers, maybe the excipients, might be something that might not be compatible with my body, but I don't know what else is inside. From your organization, Paumascel, how are some of the ways you guys are working on improving standardization and quality control? That's one question. And the final bit of that is what does the next 5-10 years look like for your horizon?
All right, let me start with orthodox medicines. They are not bad. Right now, I'm on antibiotics. That is orthodox medicine. My fiancée, she's a doctor, medical doctor practicing. So you could imagine how conflicting her interest could be, and she's basically on my space every now and then. That go and take paracetamol, go and take this, go and take that. And I'm like, I also practice herbal medicine. As in, why don't I take what I produce? Okay, a scenario like that happened couple of years ago. My fiance's adopted father is a professor in pathology, and he had constipation. As in, if he's watching this show, I'm in big trouble. So he had constipation.
So I should send it to him then.
No, but
just
you don't
kidding,
even know his name. So you don't even know his name. So.
Oh, do I?
So he had constipation, and he was suffering for it for like a week or two. As in, do you know how painful, how uncomfortable that is? As in, to be suffering from constipation for a week or two. So you couldn't. He was in pain. So my fiancée just called me, and she was like, me, as in, can I give him so thing? Meanwhile, he's also skeptical about herbal products, the dose, the components and everything. He was so skeptical about it, but at this point, he had no choice. He had to take it. So he took it. 30 minutes down the line, or 1 hour, he went to the toilet, as in just,
wow.
Yeah, and that day he became believer. As in, the following week that I got to see him, you needed to see the way he came to greet me. Like, me, you are a good boy. Because of just that was a professor that has no belief in herbs. It's like there's no. You can't quantify it. You can't defend the chemical components and everything. So he was so, but he took it. He's fine. with standardization of a thing, like I said earlier, every production we do, because we do it batch by batch, every production we do, I take sample, and there's a level of there is taste and smell that we use to justify whether it's the way we want it to be, and the balance as well, because also we need to make sure of the balance, because if there is no balance, then the herbs they'll become harmful. So we need to make sure that every herbs we're using, they are balanced. So there is that. So we take that seriously, because any wrong thing we do is going to go a long way, as in it's going to tarnish our image, especially now that we are now into tabletting. Yeah. We use chemicals as well. We use dicalcium. Dicalcium is good. The only reason why we started using dicalcium was that dicalcium is very good for the bones, and it's also acts as bulk agent
for the tablets.
So we use it. Yes, we use it, and we also use dextrose monohydrate. So all those things that we are now inculcating with the herbs, not just sweetener, is dextrose monohydrate. We don't just use it as sweetener, but we also use it as how would I put it, as a filler.
Yeah, some for the tablets, but it also helps to mask a lot of the tastes, right?
Yeah. Yes. Even the moisture, it takes away the moisture content, because dextrose monohydrate has property to absorb moisture from things. So these things we need to be careful. Yeah. Even where we get them, we make sure that we get them from genuine dealers.
Sources.
Dealers. So that because I don't know if you heard about the story of one bitter company that instead of using ethanol, they used methanol, and their consumers started dying.
Yeah.
So that was because they don't have genuine suppliers, as in the how would I put it? They don't have suppliers that will give them good GMP products. So the thing is, all these things, we make sure that we are so careful with our standards. We are so careful about that. And the thing is, what makes us stand out from other local herbal company or herbal street vendors is that we are careful about our dosage. That's what people are scared of. When you ask people now, they are like, "Oh, herbs doesn't have quantity, as in there's no way you're going to quantify it." No, there is actually a way you can quantify it. For instance, we treat diabetes. Our diabetes drug, we know that if you take it more than you're supposed to, you will likely have hypoglycemia.
Yeah.
So the thing is, we try as much as possible that take a little steps is better than taking a huge step that will land you into trouble, because it could land them into coma. So we have that, and there are some herbs as well that no matter the quantity you take, you are going to excrete it either by urine or by going to the by poo.
Yeah.
There are some herbs like that too that take a tablespoon twice a day or 3 times a day. If your system doesn't want it, it flushes it out. But there are some that we need to be careful that might cause harm to the system. So you need to identify these herbs. You need to identify these products. Like I said, any product we we put out there, I make sure that I first of all experiment on myself before I put it out there. For instance, I'm actually working on the popular JD, so I stopped because I wasn't impressed with the feedback that I'm getting. What people don't know is that how would I put it? The JD they are buying out there is actually harmful. I started the experiment and I stopped it because I realized that they use senna leaf. Do you know about senna leaf?
I know senna, yeah, for constipation and all that.
Yeah. They use senna leaf for pile pile, which is silly if you ask me, because they said how would I put it? They said when you take sugar, it goes into your spine, so the senna goes in to flush everything out and everything, which is cock and bull story. So when I experimented with myself, I realized that if you take senna for too long, there is a dependency risk.
And it's like a rebound. And even rebound, it stops working like the way it's supposed to be working. Yeah.
Yes. And also the what people don't know is that it causes ulcer as well, because all the lining, the mucus they say comes with the poo is actually the lining in your intestinal wall.
Your stomach.
So by the time you pull everything out, as in, so your intestine is naked, and the thing is when you take something harmful, there is nothing to protect your intestine. Lining. So exactly. So it also has ulcer effect too. So I stopped it. I stopped with the research because when I was doing it, I was becoming leaner and leaner because I was always going to the toilet every now and then.
Yeah, so, some reason for like extreme weight loss and all that.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. I said some people use it for extreme weight loss too, and all that. Like, is like a laxative to help with losing weight. Yeah.
Yes. But it's dangerous. It should be watched.
It is.
I could have made money out of it. Even I just realized now. The thing is, our youths in Nigeria and even it's actually all around the world, they're actually looking for aphrodisiac. That's a multi-billion dollar market in Nigeria right now. Aphrodisiac, a lot of people want it. So the thing is, I realized that in my quest to learn how to make it, I realized that they are putting Viagra. Which is silly. Yes, they are. A lot of people didn't know or doesn't know, but me that I'm into the research and all, I knew, and I couldn't continue with it because it's not herbs. As in when you're beginning to add Viagra, just tell them that you're selling Viagra instead of masking it under the camouflage that you are selling herbal product and it's harmless. So basically that's how our own standardization is different from the regular roadside herbal seller, and we try as much as possible to keep on elevating our standard. And 5 to 10 years plan now is that we're still following Daddy's vision, making it available to everyone around the world. And right now, I'm about to partner with somebody in UK to be selling it because he was a patient and he was using it. He saw that it was working and he started giving his foreigner friends, and it worked for them too, and they liked it. So right now, 5 to 10 years plan is for Paumascel to be known all around the world and having it available in most of the stores. that's our plan.
Okay. Well, I mean, this has really
and
been
also at affordable price.
Affordable I like
price.
that.
That's also key.
Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for sharing more about your dad's legacy. And my prayer is that all that pain points will turn into a greater story. And I do think your father should be recognized for his hard work, even though it's going to be coming a little bit too late since he's passed away. But you, his family, you're still carrying on his work in your community. So I hope that even through your Paumascel and whatever ventures you go into, that you'll keep making that impact. I thank you for your candor in talking about things that are quite vulnerable and private. But I can definitely see the passion you have in making sure that people have access to affordable therapy. And last but not the least, your balanced message about traditional versus Western medicine and the importance of just knowing what we're putting in our body, regardless of what the source is, and even speaking on the importance of standardization. Because for a lot of people that don't go into herbal medicine, this is a part that people don't like to acknowledge, that we need to talk about, standardization. And you talking about the importance of that is definitely going to be changing a lot of narratives. So I want to say thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me here too.
Of course. Maybe bring you back next time and explore more areas. Well, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and thank you on behalf of everyone on the podcast.
Thank you. I'm always available. Religious talks, as in your mom was talking to me about religion the other time, and you can see how passionate I am about religion as well.
I'll bring you back on for that one. Yeah, I'll bring you back for that one. That's a different kind of conversation. But quickly, before you go, where can people find you online? They want to reach out to you.
Okay. Online. Oh, we haven't put down our we haven't put up our Facebook and Twitter, but it will be up next month by God's grace. But they can just go to the website, Pharmatree.com. My contact is there. You can reach me on WhatsApp, and I would definitely attend to you, because we try as much as possible to be available for our patients, as in when you need us, we attend to you. Even at night, I have patients that calls me at night that they want clarification, so I need to attend to them. So Pharmatree.com, I'm there. Or if you want my phone number, I don't know.
No, it's fine. We can put your yeah. If anybody is, I'll give it to them if they request it. But I'm also gonna put your website on there so they can find a way to reach out to you always.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day. All right.
You too. All
right.
Bye.
All right, everyone. That was the episode with Niyi Ogunyale. I hope you really enjoyed it. If there are more topics you'd like for us to explore on the podcast, please let us know. In any event, this has been another production from the Sibyl podcast. I remain your host, Sibyl. Catch you on another episode of the Sibyl podcast. Bye-bye.